It's so good to see you again. Welcome back to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. I hope you are well and I hope you're having a lovely day, or you're going to be having a lovely day, depending on when you're going to be watching this video. Always nice to see the comments popping up afterwards to those that have been watching it and enjoyed it. Maybe you've got some additional hints or tips or just learned something new, or just the fact that strip it right back to the beginning. And we do all this in real time. So it doesn't matter whether we're doing die cutting and popping all the bits out, whether we're going to be colouring, or if my doorbell goes, or I need to go downstairs and fill up for more juice, diluting juice of course. It's all in real time. So I don't edit any of this. So that just means that you get that experience of being able to craft along in real time. And that's what so many of you have absolutely loved. Send me so many messages saying that what you love most is the fact that it is in real time, and what you also love as well, although I'm not doing it necessarily in today, well, maybe it's a little bit today, combining old and new. You love it when I do that. Done that plenty of times and I'll continue to keep doing that for sure. However, for this one, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be having a look at our 12x12 luxury Christmas pads. So these are the ones that we're going to be looking at. So we've got our festive sparkle and we've got our festive metallics. Now when it comes to these ones, what we've got is we've got the 24 sheets, 12x12, 250 GSM. This one here is your mirror and your satin, and that one there is your glitters, also printed with the mirrors. Now what I would say is, I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this one here, and what we're going to use with this is to make a 6-inch box with a 3-inch depth when it comes to the box sides. And we're going to then decorate it with the Violet Studios paper boat making kit. This is from the Nutcracker collection. Not only did you get that one, there was your card making kit that enables you to do your decoupage, and then there was also the cracker making set as well. So when it comes to all of these were from your Nutcracker collection, but this is what we're going to focus on when it comes to this tutorial here. We're going to make a lovely deep box for you to maybe put some little smellies, as I say smellies, I mean of course bath bombs, candle waxes, anything like that. So that is what we're going to be doing. I do end this, now you do get the steps that we'll go over just shortly. This little bit that you see here, I do it different to what's in the Violet Studios instructions, but as I say, we'll talk you through that one just shortly. But what we're going to do the box, we're going to take our big score. Now you can do this on your Score Master, it's just a little bit tight because of course it's 12-inch card that we're using, so your Score Master is going to be the perfect one. So therefore, seeing as that is what we're going to be using, let's crack on. I should just say as well, I believe this is my first tutorial video of the year where we've got the new decorations up. I say new, they're not new, I had them up last year, but the garlands are up with the lights as well. So yes, got them up, they're all looking nice and festive. That's my whole house done, it's all done. As I film this, there's one thing that I need to do, and that's get a real tree for outside my front garden. I think I'm going to wait just one other week though to do that. But other than that, the house is done. If you are watching this video, of course, in November, it is November 2023, then yes, just not that long, put all of that up as well. Right, let's get started and let's get going when it comes to making the box with our Violet Studios. So let's take our luxury mirror card here. Now we're going to go in with two, of course. One's for the lid, one's for the base. What I'm going to do, before we do that actually, let's decide on the colour of bow that we're going to do. Because what you can do is you can make 12 bows. 3D paper bows, you can make 12 of them. However, what I'm thinking in my head at the moment, I might use some of the elements in with the box, so that will reduce the amount of full bows that you can do. But if you use this solely for bows, you can do 12 of them. What we've got inside, we have got elements to make the bows. So you can do 3 different styles, 3 different colours, or you can mix and match if you want to. So when it comes to this one, these are the 3 of them that you've got, a little bit different sizes. So we can see that one is going to be your largest, which I think is the one that we're going to use. Of course, you've got your mid and then you've got your smaller one. However, they're still substantial. So that's those ones. Let's keep that one out, I think that's what we're going to use. You do get your instructions as well, and then what you also get is you get coordinated tags too for you to use. Not only that, you also get, and I've been using mine, so I think it's clearly disappeared. Let's see if I put them in any of the other ones. You do get metallic twine as well. So you get your metallic twine for you to attach all of your tags on. So I have obviously taken mine out and not put it back, so therefore I'm not bothered. We'll find something else, but you do get gold metallic twine as well for you to then feed through and then pop onto your presents or your packages or parcels, whatever it is that you're doing. So let's move all that out the way. Let's move that out the way. Get myself a little bit sorted. Let's move that out the way. I'm just going to go in here. There we go. And that is us. Now, when it comes to the instructions with these ones, I do pretty much follow all the way throughout. So it tells you, it really is simple when it comes to these ones. So for instance, we're going to be taking these. So we're going to go in with the gold and the kind of like the green, the olive green. And it tells you to remove 8 of the strips from the gum pad. These are the gum pads. So we're going to do that. We're going to take 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I would say as well, once you're finished doing all these bows, don't bin the instructions, because you could cut all of your printed papers to that size and follow instructions and make loads and loads and loads and loads of other bows. So don't ever bin them. Then it tells you all the way throughout all the steps that you're going to do. Now it tells you, I know it's really hard to see into here. So it does tell you, number 1, it tells you remove 8 of the paper strips from the gum pads, cut 1 piece in half. Now this is where I differ ever so slightly. So what I'll do is I'll cut it in half. Like so. So I'm just going to fold it in half, and then I'm just going to trim the edge. So I've now got 2 pieces. Now essentially when it comes to making the bow, at the end you only need 1. It tells you cut 1 piece in half, you only need 1. I use them both, and I'll show you that right at the end. So therefore we're going to have 7 full bits, and then we're going to have 2 smaller bits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. 7 large strips and 2 of the smaller strips. So that's these ones here. Then all that we're going to do is you're going to take, I know the rest of it off heart now, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. But what we can do with these ones here, take your adhesive. So you're going to take your adhesive in the step-by-step. It's got you the Crafter's Companion pen, which of course you can do. Tape runner. I like to use anything like this. I'll still like to use my tacky glue. So all that we're going to do within all of them, we're going to do this bit first, and then what we can do is we can get on with the box, and then we can then start to make the bow. So taking one end of the bow strip and popping your adhesive on. So whether it's your red liner tape, double-sided tape, tape runner, tacky glue, you're just going to go right to one end and fold it over. So essentially you've got a ring there. We're going to do that with all of them. So again, we're just going to go in with a little bit of glue, and then we're just going to cross over. Doesn't matter, doesn't have to be much. I don't know, maybe about 1/4 inch, something like that. Not even that, doesn't even need to be that. As long as you've got enough to hold all the way around, like so. I'm just going to keep moving them out the way for now. So we're just going to go in. We're just going to fold over. The good thing with your tacky glue is it means that you've got that little bit of wiggle room. So hold that for a few seconds, and then we can move on to the next one. So that is all that you're going to do for the 7. If you go with what the instructions say, which pretty much is what I do, it's exactly like the instructions, just the very end bit is very slightly different. And that is, you're then going to have 7 strips, 7 large strips, And if you go by the instructions, one small strip that you've then halved, or as I do, I like to use both halves. So let's work our way along the next few. We're just going to fold that over like so and hold in. I'm going to let that hold, let that grip, let that grab. I like the fact that you've got 3 different designs. You've got the 3 different designs within each of these ones here. So let's put that there. So it means when it comes to each of the designs, you're going to be able to make 4 full 3D bows. Let's then press that in. Although when it comes to this one, as I said, what we're going to do when it comes to the actual box, we're going to tie the whole lot together. So when it comes to this design, I won't be able to get 4 full bows because I'm going to use these strips in different ways. So that is all 7 of the largest strips done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along and then I'm going to do exactly the same with the 2 smaller ones. So we're going to go over and we're going to press that into place. Remember, the instructions say just 1 half of the strips, which you can absolutely do. What I would say is do it both ways. Do it with the 1, and then if you think actually I like the way that Craig finished it off, then you can just come along and then add your last of the smallest one. So that's that one there. Let me just do a little bit more. You can see here. And then fold that one into half, just like that. So we're going to then hold that. Then what we're going to do is then we're going all of these rings that we've just done. So the 7 large, 2 small, we're then going to pinch them together. We're going to do the pinching together and then we're going to let them just sit. Then we can then crack on with the box, come back to these and form the bow. So that's that one. So I'm now just going to go back to the very first one because that's had plenty of time just to dry. And then what I'm going to do, where I've got that seam join that you've got there, I'm just going to do a little wiggle of glue. And once again, that can be your tape runner if you want to. And then we're just going to then fold it in half. I've got a ruler here that's got inches. Now you don't have to be exact. You don't have to be exact whatsoever. You know, just as long as it's roughly in the middle. I'm just doing that first one with a ruler just so that you can see if you want to use a ruler. The other ones, all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball it. So we're just going to then pinch that into the middle just here. Like so. And then we're going to come in with the other ones. So again, down that seam. I would always do it on the join in the seam because then you're going to get a really, really strong bond. And then, of course, that's going to then bond the joins together. So I'm just going to then press that into place just here. And then we're going to hold. Because essentially, once that's fully dried, we're then going to bounce them up. You can do that now. So you can see here, I just want to move that just before it fully sets. Move that along just ever so slightly, just to kind of make it even. So that's the next one. And we're just going to continue all the way around the other ones once again. So let's take our glue and then let's pinch in the center. We can see here. Don't worry about them not being like perfect circles at the moment. You don't need to worry about that. You don't actually want them to be. It all adds to that rustic look and that handmade look. You don't ever worry at this point. That's the next one. We're going to go into the 4th one now. So find that join here. And that join into place there. And then we're just going to pinch and hold. Like so. Like so that. And then once that's done, I'm going to move on to the next one. So you can see when it comes to making these bows, it is very, very simple, very straightforward and very repetitive, which in this form is not a bad thing. Repetitiveness in some things can be a little bit boring and frustrating, but when it comes to this, it makes it so easy, and the end result for something that is simple but repetitive is so striking. So striking. So we've got our last two larger ones. So strip of glue into the middle, just there. And we're going to press and grab. I'm going to bring in the last one of the larger ones. You can see here. Move that out of the way. And we're going to pop that into there. Move that in, bump that up. Just making sure that they're semi-aligned as well. Again, don't worry about being bang on. Doesn't need to be. This is like the colours, the looks, so rustic. It's so elegant, so refined, but so simple as well. And that's the key thing. Then we're going to go in with the last two. So this is where I'll tend to, I think by the looks of the finished one, I'm not sure if I do it slightly different, but I'm doing it the way that I've done it with the other ones. I'm just going to pinch within the middle, like so. So we're going to then get a smaller loop bow that you can see there. So that's that one, pinching that one. And then last but by no means least, let's go in with the second smallest one, and this is the one that I do as an extra. We're just going to fold that in like so, make that aligned, and then that is all of them. So we've got our two small, you might have one or you might have two, and then we've got all of these as well. So that's all of these ones done. So we've got our 7 large, 2 small, if you're following along with the way that I do it. So we can move that out of the way. And then let's go into our paper pad. Let's go in with our luxury card pad. And I think definitely going to do gold because it's got the gold strips inside. Could do it with the messaging. The way that I'm thinking is the way that we do the box base. The messaging would be upside down, although to be fair, no matter what we do, it would be upside down. Tell you what, let's do the snowflakes, because that won't matter. Snowflakes are never upside down. So let's take these ones, and then we're going to keep them at 12 by 12, because this is going to be a substantially deep box. So there's all of those. What I am going to do though, where I've got that little bit of excess gum at the end, I'm just going to trim it just ever so slightly, just so that I can take away that little bit of gum that's on the end. So because I've taken a little slither off that side, it means I just need to take a little slither off that side. Let me just check. It's about 2 mils before 12. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same again. Just take that little bit of dried adhesive gum that's off the end. Just making sure each piece of card is still exactly the same size. So now we've got our 2 pieces of card at the exact size that we want. Let's bring in our big score. And then when it comes to the big score, what we're also then going to do is we're going to score. Go figure. So for this, I want to be the depth of the box. I want the box to be 6 inches, 6 by 6, and I want the depth to be 3 inches. So therefore, we're going to score at the 3-inch mark. This is on the box lid side. So we're just going to twist and turn, because this is a coated card. Actually irrelevant as to whether it was a coated card or not. Always do it lightly and a few times. And then last but by no means least, 3 inches. So that's my box lid. And then we're going to do the box base. So the box base, of course, is on the right hand side. Now I know that I've explained this quite a lot. I find it hard to score upwards. So as long as we are on the box base side, I'm just going to turn it around, still look at the 3 inch, although it's upside down, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to then score lightly and a few times. So we're then going to go into here, all the way around, and all the way around as well. Now before I go any further, now that we've got the box base, what I'm going to do, in an actual fact, actually no, I'll just use my ruler, because I know that between here is 6 inches. This is now where I'm going to add extras from the bow, the paper bows. What I'm going to do is let's take, where's my pocket tool? So I just want to pretty much get that bang on. So this is the box base, yeah, which is right enough. So what I want to do is I want to get that centre point. So I'm just going to do a little mark. So it's the centre point here. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Don't worry about it being a score mark or a pencil mark or anything like that, because you're not actually going to see it. I'm just pressing lightly with my actual pokey tool, just so that I can visually see where that centre point is. I'm going to do the same again into here, like so. What I am also just going to do, just so I don't forget, is I'm just going to put, I could just put B for base, but there we go. Then let's take up our lid, and I'm going to do the same again here. So we're just going to put a mark at the 3 inch, and then mark at the 3 inch. Now, because this is the box lid, that is pretty much bang on 6 inch. The box base is a little bit smaller than 6 inch by just a couple of mils, because of course, well, the box lid, the box base is done on the other side of the scoreboard. So as long as you're getting that measurement within the centre, and this will all become apparent just shortly as to what I'm doing. Right, there we go. There's all kind of like the centre points done. What I also want to do when it comes to the box lid, I don't want the box lid to be the same depth, 3 inch. What I want is I want it to be about 2 inch. So I'm going to take 1 inch off all the way around. So I'm going to come down to 11 inch and cut. And you know what I've realised? I've just gone and done all those marks, and I've now gone and cut them off. So I'm going to have to go and do those marks once again. So again, come down 1/2 inch. Sorry, 1 inch, not 1/2 inch. Coming down 1 inch. So therefore, all the way around now is 2 inches. And then, being the prized Wally that I am, let's do that again. So let's take a little mark there, and a little mark there. Do it the last couple of times there, and then into there. So there we go. So that is all of my marks done now. They're all done. So we are good to go. So let's go back to the base here. So we're going to go back to the base, and before we do any scoring, it's a lot easier to do what I'm away to do the way that I'm going to do it, and that is bringing these back in here. So we're going to come back in with these ones, and then I'm going to take 2 of these. So 2 for the base and 2 for the lid. So let's take 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And then now that I know my centre point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join them up. Now, because I'm going to flex them, I'm going to use my tacky glue. You can absolutely use your dry adhesive, but for me, anything like this, because we're going to be then still shaping and bending this box base, what I want is I want to have a really strong adhesion. Certainly right at the very, very end. So I want to make sure that I've got a nice load of adhesive right there. And when I say a nice load, I don't mean saturate the end with your tacky glue. I just mean make sure that you've got glue. And then what I'm also going to do is that centre point, I'm going to make sure is central to the tip there. I'm just going to make sure that that's all central. Now these will be just about 1 millimetre or so longer, which would much rather have it longer than shorter. So let's just press that in. Well, that one's sitting. Let's do the same with this next one. So we're essentially going to colour, making sure that end has got a nice strip of adhesive. You can of course flatten these strips out to make it a little bit easier for you to add your glue or your adhesive. Tape at the end, or glue at the end, and we can do that once again. You can always use the grids on your glass mat as a way to line up as well. So let's pop that one there, that one there, and then when you're happy, what we can then do is press that in. So maybe you'll maybe start to realise where I'm going with this. So let's just hold and press like so. I'm just going to make sure that I'm still aligned. There we go. So that is our lid. No, it's not. That's our base. So let's take our strips here, and then we're going to do exactly the same. Because that is 10 inch, I'm going to make it easier for myself, and I'm going to chop these to just over the 10 inch mark. Just makes it that little bit easier to align. So let's just say a couple of mils over 10. So let's take one of them. Let's reflatten that out. There we go. Make it a little bit easier for myself. We're going to go around the edges. Give it a light scribble within the middle. Scribble within the middle, I like that. Let's go around. And when it comes to the gold strips on the opposite side here, they're like a foiled. So although you wouldn't be able to use a water-based ink pad or that, you could always come along with things such as your Gildan waxes if you want to. And then I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to line that up as well. Get them as straight as I possibly can. Take away any excess, and then do the last one. And then we can start to form and shape our box. So don't always think as though when it comes to card kits or collections or concepts, you don't have to use them all in that way that they've been designed and thought out. Now I'm using one of the bows in the ways that it's been designed and thought out, but then I'm using the additional strips to add detail to, of course, the box. So let's twist that one round. Let's line that one up and move into place just there. Let that grab, like so. I'm going to leave that one just to go off. What I'm then going to do is let's just trim the edges, because these strips are just a mil or two over your 12-inch mark. You've got a little bit of an overhang, which is always a good thing. And then what I'm also going to do as well, is because I've already started to form and shape them, or the edges, just where we've gone in with our card, we're just going to add a score line in as well, just to help stretch that. And then we can then start to make our box in the way that we'd usually do it. So what we can then do is take our card and just, you know, be gentle. It's still a coated cardstock, and at that centre join there where we've got our strip of paper, we just want to still be gentle with it. We don't want to go all gung-ho and then start to rip it. And that's them. So let's take our scissors. And I know everyone will do boxes in slightly different ways. This is just the way that I like to do it. So I'll go into there, and for a deep box I'll take a sizable chunk out that we can see there. Some people will do the mirror image, so they'll cut down, and then what they'll do is they'll do a little chunk there. You can do. I don't. I just always twist and turn all the way round. So I do my cut down, and then I come in from the right hand side and do a little chunk, cut down, come in from the right and do a little chunk, and then last but by no means least, cut down and do a little chunk. You can see here. Then at this point all we need to do is start to form it like we would usually do. So I'm going to take my tacky glue, and then I'm going to add my adhesive on. Sometimes I'll use my red liner tape, but as many as you know by now, my go-to with construction is always tacky glue. So when it comes to the box tabs, what I do is I'll do two. That's now the second one. I'll go back to the one that I've done. That's just giving it a few extra seconds to kind of go off and get a little bit more tackier than it already was. So we're just going to hold that in and press, just make sure that we're still aligned, which we are, because we use the snowflakes and there's no specific pattern detail or alignment, doesn't matter. Whereas the trees would then be upside down at one point, or the Christmas sentiment would be upside down at one side. So we're going to line that up, and then we're going to press. We're going to hold that in, and then once that's done, we can do the next two. Now can you see where I'm going? Of course, with that coordinated paper strips, it's giving it that parcel effect. So let's add our tacky glue, so make sure we've got a nice little spread right to the edge, and then in the middle as well. So come all the way around. That's the second one done, so let's go back to the first one, and then we're going to join that together, be in a mitered corner. hold and press that in. Because we've also added the glue right to the very tip, of course you could then fold any excess in, not necessarily when it comes to the 12 by 12, but the lid you could fold it in, but then how do you disguise it on the inside? So if you make sure you've got the glue right to the very edge, then you know that you've got that perfect join. So then let's bring that one in. Fold that one in, hold that in. I'm just going to grab, while I'm pressing down there, I'm just going to grab into here. Now once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to stretch those in there. Let's just repress what I've just done there, it's just popped out there. So let's grab that. And then that is our box base starting to come together. So let's set that one to the side. We're then going to come along and we're going to do the same with the box lid. So let's trim off the excess strips. Like so. And then let's take these ones in. Where's my actual bone folder? There it is. Lightly press. Lightly press. Lightly press. And lightly press. Then we're going to do exactly the same as before when it comes to the box base. We're going to chop down. And then we're going to come in at an angle. What I'll do is I'll do it the other way that some people will do. So you've seen I've chopped that in. I would go chop down to the angle, twist, chop down to the angle, twist, chop down to the angle. So now that I've done it, sometimes what some people would do is do it symmetrically. So this time, chop down into an angle. Both ways work. There's no right or wrong way. It's just whichever way that you like to do it. And then we're going to flip that to the opposite side and again. So chop down. We're going to go to the right. And this one, we're going to chop down. And then we're coming in from the left. That's the only kind of difference. Take that out. And then let's add our glue. So I would still do the same as I've done before, and that's add my glue onto two pieces, let one go off. So while I move on to this one's starting to go off, as in starting to get a lot more tackier. The tackier the glue, the stickier it will be. So now I've done that one. So let's go back to the first one. So the one that we've just done a moment ago is starting to go off. So that's going to give us time just to hold that in. And then as we hold that one in, what we can then do is turn that around, move into the next one. I'm just going to pinch and hold those two there. Just going to make sure that that's all aligned there and then there. I suppose the good thing with doing it this way is you can hold both sides down at once if you want to. So hold that in like so, and then we can move to the last two. So let's add our tacky glue around the edge. And then our tacky glue around the edge of the second one. Let's go back to our first one. Let's just tuck that in just now. That one we can press, and in actual fact, because of the angle they're at, let's do the second one at the same time. And then we're just going to press it. All that I'm doing is I'm just pressing those two in, but I'm leaving them against my desk. If you've got pegs or anything like that, you could use that, but when it comes to tacky glue, it really doesn't need long at all, whether it's our Collal tacky glue, whether it's Stix2's tacky glue. As long as it's a really good quality glue, you will be fine. And then that is in your box lid that we can see here, which then if we bring these together, hopefully, he says, because we've put them bang centre in the middle, they meet up, and then we've got that little bit of a 1 inch that you can see at the bottom there, because we've made our lid a little bit shorter, so you can see like so. So I tell you what, let's go face on, just so you can see there. So there's your box. So remember, that was 12 by 12, and then both the lid and the base, what we've done is we've scored at 3 inch all the way around and scored. So that's essentially given us a 6 inch box left to right, and the depth is 3 inch. So there is your box. So because we've done those strips over, that is then when we can start to bring in the bow and build our bow, which is then of course going to go on top. So what we can then do within this one here is, let's take all of these. So you can come along and then you can start to build them up like so. So if I bring in, let's just show you the instructions that you've got here, just so you can see the way that you're going. What it's got is, we've got all the way up to 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into 7 here, and then we're going to start to cross them over. So you can see that you're just going to start to cross them over. So you're going to go one way, one the other way, and then you're just going to start to build them up. So let's come in here. Once again, I'm going to use my tacky glue because just my glue of choice. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm just wanting to make sure I do kind of a relatively good square, kind of the same width that we've got here. And then whichever way you want to go, if we go just as an actual cross to start with. So we're crossing them over. And then if you want to use something like your glass mat or a ruler to roughly align up, you can do. I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't spend too long trying to make sure that it's perfectly in position. So once we've got that one, what we're then going to do is take the other two. So let's find all my other ones. So there's them ones and them ones. So let's set that to the side there. Let's do the same here. So let's add my glue, or you can be using your tape runner. And then we're going to press that into there. That we can see just here. So let's get that back into alignment. I'm not sure if you can kind of see this one here. I've kind of just gone out by a few mils, but it's not going to matter because the way that we start to layer these up, it isn't going to matter at all. I'm just going to come in and hold that down a second, like so. And once I've done that one, let's then take our next ones here. And the next one, there we go. And our adhesive in there. Bring our next one. So I'm always kind of going seam facing inward, so we're not going to see the actual fold of the seam. Let's hold that and let's grab that one. And then we're still going to have our spare larger one and then our smaller one, but remember I've done 2 smaller ones. Now I'm doing these in sections, so you can just constantly keep building on top of the next one if you want to, but I'm going to go in that way there. Against personal preference, there's no right or wrong way about doing these. It's whatever you feel more comfortable doing. So I've got my cross, so I'm just going to turn that out a bit of an X, and then I'm going to line and press that up like so. So we're just going to hold that one in. And then you can offset them even more if you want to, because I'm pretty much going bang on top of each other, so crossing each time. If you want to offset it ever so slightly, then you could do. But I'm not going to. I'm going to add in my glue there. And because that one went that way, I'm going to twist again that way. And then I'm just going to kind of align up here. And then we're going to hold in. Like so. And then we're going to come along, because this one, so that's got two, that's got two, that's got two, that's got two. These don't. This one has only got one. So we're going to take our next single one, and that's then going to go over in one direction. Let's just press that a little bit more. If you want to use your hot glue, or again your dry adhesive, you can do. But just I think because these are potentially going to be manhandled once they've been created, and then once they're popped onto the present, and then the present's been popped under the tree, and then it's getting taken out, and then it's been given to the recipient, and they're going to pop it under their tree, you know, all of that I just like to go in with my tacky glue, make it really strong, make it really, really structured. Let that grab, hold it again, put pressure into the middle. You can see how it's starting to form together. So let's just hold that. And then this is where, we'll do it once we're finished, but you can come along. This is when you can then start to really pull in your actual loops just by pressing. And then we're going to take our two small ones. So again, remember the instructions just say the one small one, but for me, I just like to do two of them and cross them over. Let's do that one into here. So it's going to give you a chunkier crossover loop, but it doesn't matter at all. So let's press and hold that one. I'm just going to see if in my cracker box, if I've got, in the cracker box you do get, what you get, ribbon, but I'm wondering if I've put my gold twine in there. Don't think so. No. So I might just use a little bit of cream satin ribbon that I've got. So I'm just going to plump that up, and then for this one, what I'm going to do, I want to lift that middle one. So I'm going to come along with some of my foam pads. Let's come into these ones. Give it extra height, which is optional. You don't have to, you don't have to do what I'm doing. And then that one, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to cross that one that way into the middle and press that in. And then let's just start, don't be scared as well to manhandle it. Get those loops looping. Get them looping, get them pressed in. You can see here. Press them in, loop them in, get them in. And then we've got a really nice big sizable bow that you can see just here. So that's our bow. Let me get my thin satin. Remember, so when it comes to the bows, you do get your metallic twine with it. I just can't find mine. So I'm just going to take some ribbon instead. And then we're just going to take our coordinated tag. I'm going to use the one that matches. And then you've got your little pierced hole there. So let's take that one out. And the reason I'm using an ivory colour is I just think it works really, really well with the green and the gold. Just to say as well, your cracker kit, you do get, and you get lots left over as well. I don't want it to be quite thick, otherwise I would have used that. But you've got that one as an option if you want to. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot for now. I'm going to look to see where I want to put that, so I'm just going to take that excess off. You can see here. I'm going to come along with some red liner tape for now. Into the middle just here. I'm going to take that off and that off. And then this one, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to press into there. Just going to make sure that we've got rid of these little excess bits because I don't want to see them. I'm going to really, really strongly press that down. You can use your glue gel if you want to. And then for this time, what we're going to do is I'm going to do it so that I've kind of got a couple of the loops kind of running parallel. No, it doesn't look at kind of from up above, but I've kind of got them running parallel. And what I'm also going to do, where's those foam pads again? I'm going to lift that on foam pads as well. Let's take that and that, that and that, and then can I find that same one that was lined up? I think that's it. There we go. Press that in. And then there we go. We've got our looped bow. I'm just going to twist that ever so slightly. Again, don't worry because it looks so blinking cool. So if you have gone off ever so slightly, it does not matter. I mean, how smart is that? And because we've used some of the other strips as well, it just pulls it all in together. It looks so, so smart. It's all aligned. And that's just with 2 sheets of your 12 by 12 luxury festive cardstock. And then we've used that bow over the top as well. You could put something in the middle if you wanted to, another topper or something. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is. And then you can then pop whatever you want in the middle. Imagine whatever it is gift-wise that you've got for someone. How lovely that's going to be by popping that inside. Write your little message on the back. And then you can give it to them. You could add gems as well if you want to all the way around. That's optional. But we're just going to keep it as it is when it comes to that one. And then there we go. There is your box that we can see just here. All the way around. 12 by 12. Scored at 3 inches all the way around. Added our strips. And then we formed our bow. Just right at the end here, the centre of the bow, I've done it ever so slightly compared to what's in the Violet Studio instruction guide. And let me tell you, once you've done one, you'll be away doing the other ones. And in actual fact, if you watch this before doing the instructions, before looking at the instructions, you probably even won't need to look at the instructions. The only thing you're going to do is either do it what's in here with the little strip or do it the way that I've done it. But either way, don't bin that. Keep that safe. Keep it with all of your scoreboard guides and that. Maybe laminate it or something. And then later on in the year, or you've got strips of your generic papers left over, keep that to refer to if you want. But there we go. So that is from the Violet Studio. That's the Nutcracker. That is your big bow set that you've got. I mean, when it came to the Nutcracker, the set, we have done, or we do the bow, the cracker, and also the card making kit that enables you to do your 3D decoupage. And that's how you're going to do a bow in a simple box and make it really, really beautiful and elegant and make the recipient go, wow, where did you buy that? And you'd be like, I made that as well. The only thing is, just watch, because they might actually like the box better than the gift, depending on what it is. You know what some people are like. But there we go. Yes, hope you enjoyed it. If you do anything that I do within these tutorial videos here on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel, if you post them on social media or your pages or anything like that, do please feel free to tag myself in. I'd absolutely love to see them. Of course, it goes for Crafters Companion as well, and also for Violet Studios. Anything that you're using with Violet Studios, then of course do feel free to tag them. I know the girls, guys and the girls love to see exactly what is going on. Of course, Violet Studios, as I say many times, headed up by Nikki Holt at Crafters Companion. So still under the umbrella of Crafters Companion, but it's got its own kind of team, designated team for the collection. So that's your Violet Studios. That's your bow maker from your Nutcracker collection. But thank you so much. I really enjoyed this one, as I always do. Hope you did as well. Please don't forget to subscribe so that when you go into your YouTube channel, you'll see any of my videos pop up. Although in saying that, do hit that bell notification, because then of course as soon as I pop any of these videos up, you'll get notified to say, Craig Laird CC has added a new tutorial. So then you'll know that there's one waiting. And then if you do like it, which I would hope you do, when it comes to all the videos, give me a thumbs up as well. That would be really appreciated. But until the next time, have a lovely rest of the day, or have a lovely day, depending on what time it is wherever you are. And we'll see you again the next time here on my Crafters Companion YouTube channel. We'll see you later. Bye.